We are winning on a Wednesday here on Spirit 105.3 because you and I are going to spend a little time today learning how to think of ourselves a little differently. Hi, I'm Erica with an amazing author. Stacy Reaoch is with us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, it's wonderful having you. From the moment your book popped up on my desk, I was like, yes, I want to read this. Beautiful Freedom. And the first thing that strikes me about what you wrote, Stacy, is that God gave us our bodies as a gift. Why don't we view it that way? Because I know I certainly don't, I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think it's really common for us to focus on the things we don't like about our bodies. It's really easy to compare ourselves with other people and to feel like we're not enough, we're not strong enough, we're not whatever enough, that we can just easily be discontent with what God has given us.
I think you're right. And when you and I sit down and ponder the fact that God knit us together in the wombs of our mothers, like, what does that mean to you? And how does it change how we see our bodies?
Yeah, I think when we understand God's sovereignty in creating us and in giving us the very features that we sometimes despise. He created the length of our nose or the color of our hair. And I think when we realize that God had a unique intention for how he designed us, that can give us a more thankful heart.
And how would you say you and I can honor God with our bodies? Because, Stacy, I feel like I try really hard to honor God with my mind, with my thoughts. I'm constantly going, God, help me. But how do we do that in a physical way?
Yeah, I think, when we remember that our bodies are really not about us, but our bodies are gifts from God that can be stewarded for his glory. And so how can I use my body to love other people, to serve other people, whether that's, staying physically fit so I can care for my aging parents, or I can, carry the children that God's given me, or physical exercise, watching the foods we eat, eating foods that are going to give us energy and strength for what he's called us to do each day.
Absolutely. How do you squeeze time in to take care of your body, to get a little exercise in, to eat right?
It's definitely tricky, but I think that as I've realized that I'm going to be a better mom, I'm going to be a better wife and worker when I make time to exercise. When I, even if it's just going for a walk, when I wake up in the morning or when I get home from work, just even little things like that can make a big difference in how I feel.
You're absolutely right. And you said something on Instagram that I just love, Stacy. You said our satisfaction won't come through a smaller dress size or a perfect diet or ageless complexion. Let me hear it for that. But where will we find satisfaction?
Yeah, our only true satisfaction will be found in Jesus. And he reminds us of that in the Bible, that he is the bread of life, that he is the source of our satisfaction, that he's going to satisfy us so much more than the best chocolate dessert or having that smaller dress size. And so I think we just need to constantly be looking up towards him instead of gazing at ourselves.
Oh, that is so, so good. Stacy, when you're having one of those days and you look in the mirror, and maybe I'm sure you don't have wrinkles yet, but I certainly see them popping up, the little crow's feet. You're having one of those days, you just look tired. How do you flip the script on that and just talk nicely to yourself?
Well, I definitely do have wrinkles and see those things popping up when I look in the mirror. Yeah. But I think it's, again, remembering the Bible gives us an upside-down view of aging. And so the world tells us do everything you can to look younger, to turn back the hands of time. But the Bible reminds us that a gray hair is a crown of glory, that the signs, the lines on our faces, the gray hairs that we might be getting, those are all signs of a life that's been lived. And those a lot of times include, raising children or working hard or all different things that have shaped us and created us as who God has created us to be.
Yes, absolutely. And the Bible doesn't lay out like a healthy eating plan, but it does give us some guidance, right, Stacy?
Yeah, I think, definitely looking at how does the Bible see food? We don't see a black and white list of don't eat this and do eat this, but we see that food is a gift from God, that food is meant to be enjoyed with thanksgiving. And that's whether you're eating a kale shake or a chocolate shake. Both of those things we can receive from God with a thankful heart.
I think that's wonderful. How did you get to this place, Stacy, if you don't mind me asking, because you sound like you have such a good, healthy view, mind, body, spirit, all of it. How did you learn to live this way?
Well, I'm a work in progress, so
Yep.
I haven't arrived, but I am raising two girls, one who is, in her early 20s and one who's almost 16. So I think part of it is wanting to model for them a healthy view of food and exercise in our bodies, and just knowing I constantly have to go back to the Word of God to remind myself of what is true and what is God's big picture and focus with the gift of my body, instead of looking at the filtered images on Instagram and the things of this world that can make us feel discontent.
It's so good to talk about these things. Stacy, when somebody finishes your book, Beautiful Freedom, and sets it on the nightstand, what is that one thing you want your reader to remember?
I think I want them to see that our bodies are good gifts from God that can be enjoyed and can be stewarded for God's glory. That it's not about us, but it's about making Jesus visible through how we live and how we use our bodies.
Stacy Reaoch, you are a joy. I hope you'll come back on the show.
I'd love to. Thanks for having me.